I'm a producer on Team Nagoda, the team that's making Project Spark. We're here at Gamescom, and with me I have one of our awesome community members, Mike Considine, aka Paradox Moose. So he's joining me today. We're here at Gamescom, and we just have the honor of being able to show off some awesome stuff that we're doing at Project Spark. So we wanted to come on here just to show all of you who are at home, who aren't able to make it here, just what we're doing, just what we're showing, and let you know a little bit about kind of what we have coming up. So we're actually going to jump into the game. We're going to start showing off our new sci-fi theme, Galaxies. So I'm just going to go into create, and we're going to just hop into the game. So for those of you who are familiar with Project Spark, some of this may sound like, hey, I know that, but this is for those who've never heard of Project Spark or you may be new to it. I'm going to tell you a little bit about kind of what we're doing, how you can get in here, start to create your own adventures, your own worlds, using our new sci-fi theme. So something we're really excited about. To this point, we've done a lot of stuff with fantasy for your fantasy adventures, but for those people out there who want to make those sci-fi adventures, those shooters, those first-person shooters, or whatever you want, we now have the tools for you to get in and to do that. So this is my empty world. So we're just going to kind of jump in here. We're going to kind of set this world up. So using my tools that I have on the left-hand side of the screen, I'm going to go ahead and start scoping out this world. So I'm actually going to use my add brush, and let's see what we can make here. So I'm going to make a little arena. So this is pretty much the show that I've been doing on the stage here at GameStop. Just showing the fans that are here kind of what we're doing with Project Spark. You see, just like that, it's super easy for me to get in and start scoping terrain. So I'm just going to kind of build myself a little canyon real fast, so we can have a setting for our awesome adventure. And I can spend hours doing this, but I'm just kind of doing something really quick. This is just kind of creating the world is one of my favorite things to do. So you really can spend as much time as you want here. I'm just kind of going through and just doing something quick, just so we can build out our experience. All right, cool. All right, so I have my canyon. And I can also use the same add brush to kind of just, you know what, I'll put some moons up here so it looks kind of more like space, have something in the background. So I'm going to scale this guy up, way up, there we go. Just going to pop it right there. I can then use the subtract side of this brush, which is the flip side, just kind of carve away at it. So I'm just going to carve a couple craters into it so it looks pretty sci-fi-ish, you know, kind of like craters in the moon or something like that. And I'll put a crater on the top. And then maybe I'll put another one a little bit further off into the distance, scale it down a little bit for depth. And there we go. So now I have two moons in my world. Just because I like adding stuff in, we're going to make a little cube figure. We're going to add this in here. Let's see here. All right. And I'll scale it up a little bit, but just to show you guys how you can use this brush even more. I can add that there. I'm going to scale a little bit down so I can start carving away on this as well. So it's super easy for you to be able to not only add but subtract using this brush. It's one of my favorite brushes. So just like that, we have something that looks pretty cool. I'm actually now going to switch over to my my biome brush. So the new sci-fi biome is really cool. The moon biome is great because you can scale it up. It's going to work similar to our, if you're familiar with our woodlands biome or our desert dunes or Arctic biome brushes, where it drops props and things like that into the world. So as you can see, I'm just kind of going in and have this beautiful moon texture that I can drop in my world. So it makes for a good backdrop for our adventure here. There we go. And now for the center, because I don't want to actually have any of the props appearing for my gameplay. So I'm actually just going to go back out to my paintbrush and select one of my paint textures down across the bottom. I'm going to switch this over to our circular brush, and now I can kind of pepper in this texture on the bottom, and I'm going to go back and mix in one of our other textures in a moment here. But it's super easy to get in here and start creating just like that and kind of blend in these textures together. So in about a few minutes, we've created this kind of the landscape for our world. I have a couple of moons in the background. I have these objects that I've created, and I've kind of painted it all. So I'm actually just going to go into my world settings real fast, switch over to Space Nebula, which is one of the new skies that comes with this pack, and I'm going to go back into test. We're going to test this out. So this is the world we've created so far. So I think it's pretty nice. I mean, I'm a big fan of this pack and the content that we have in it, but you know, for the different space adventures that people want to make, there's a lot here that you can customize. Like everything you're seeing here, you can change the tints of these objects here. You can you know, carve out the world however you want it. You can remove all the props, scale up the props, change the colors of the props, things like that. So I kind of like what we have here. So I'm actually going to go back into edit so we can finish working on this. We're going to build this game together. All right. So just going to switch over actually to doing do a little bit of lighting before I go into props. So I'm going to go in here, and if you haven't actually played around with the lighting in Project Spark, it's really fun. You can choose the light bulb prompt from our gallery, and I'm just showing you guys how you can kind of search for these individual props. There you go. So now I have my light bulb, and then you just place them in the world. You can change the behaviors of it. You can change the properties, kind of the tints. So it's really awesome. So I'm actually going to go into this guy, and I'm going to edit it. Onto his properties, appearance, lights, and the color. And I think I'm going to make it, because I want it to look like these gas bags in here are actually giving off the light. So I'm just going to make it an orange color. All right. And now I can go through and I can place it near these objects. So they're going to give me some cool dynamic lighting in my level. I don't have to do all of them, but just for the areas that are really dark, you know, because of my sun position. I could also just change my sun position or my moon's position. I just kind of like going through and adding these lights in. All right, I think that's probably enough of those. So the next thing I'm going to do is going to add some props. So I have a number of props that I can add into the game. I'm going to do a quick search for them by switching over and looking for my moon biome. So quick search for moon. Here we go. So we have lots of modular props that we can use. So you can build out your own corridors, your own adventures, your own, just kind of make your own moon base. It's really cool. So I just turned on Snap to Grid. Makes it a little bit easier to work with modular props. I'm going to put this one down the ground. There we go. And then I can just kind of build out like this. Put a floor piece. You can see since I have Snap to Grid on, it helps me line these things up pretty well. And here I'm going to go back in, select the wall piece. And again, this is just kind of a quick example of what you can create with this. Again, I could spend hours making this awesome moon base. But I just kind of want to show you guys kind of what we have available. Place a wall. There we go. And here I'm going to grab a door just because the door is really cool. And scale this up a little bit, or a lot, or a medium-sized amount. And we're going to place this door here. Excellent. All right, so now I have a base of some sort, and I have my canyon. I added a few lights. So now I'm going to actually go ahead and I'm going to add some of our assemblies. So also in this pack we have a few different assemblies that are really cool. I mentioned the moon base before, but this moon base support, you can use it as a kind of a support structure. I kind of like using it as a barricade. This kind of looks like a space kind of barricade. So I'm going to turn off the Snap to Grid just so I can scale this thing freely. And then I'm just going to place a few of these in my world because just to give me something to hide behind, because I'm going to set up kind of like a shooter adventure. Alright, so we're going to place a few of these. Alright. Now I'm actually going to go through, we're going to add in some enemies. So we have a Codian, which is an awesome character that we're going to have, which is going to be coming out. It's also with Galaxies, part of our Galaxies thing. Rotate them around. These guys are really cool. So I'm using them as enemies, but you don't have to use these guys as enemies. I don't even think they're enemies. You know, these are our alien race. These guys are sophisticated. So you can kind of create your own story around them. So I'm kind of using my creative freedom here and making these guys my enemies for now. So I just had 3 of them up. I'm actually going to swap out my guy right here for my new Astrotech. So I just delete him and bring in my Astrotech. Alright, so let's get a good look at this guy. He's pretty cool. Alright, so that's my Astrotech. I'm actually going to go, look at him. He's doing like some Predator type stuff on his arm. It's awesome. He has the best animations. And if you have a Connexons, you can actually record your own animations. So it's really cool. But he has some cool ones. Look at that one. He's like, it's like radioing to homes, like Major Tom, ground control. Okay, enough with my link jokes. So I'm actually going to go into his brain. So he has right now, he kind of has a basic brain set up. I'm going to swap out his brain for one of our shooter brains. So I'm going to go to first person shooter advanced. So this is going to give me like a HUD and the things that I need for kind of my first person shooter adventure. So now that I've done that, we have our enemies, we have, look, I even got some kind of brains achievement or challenge, awesome. So I have my guy, I have my enemies. I think we're ready to hop in here. You ready?
Sure.
Are you excited?
No.
Yes, you are. I can hear it in your voice. So we're gonna go into test. We're gonna test this out. All right, so just like that, we have a world, we have our awesome lighting. Looks great. You guys are already shooting me. I can shoot back. I can also just kind of aim down the sights. I will promise I won't die. Do my best to die. I promise. Notice I only added 3 guys though, so I can go through here, shoot all these guys, and you can really build out this adventure to be whatever you want it to be. So just like that, we kind of set up a basic experience. You know, you can see my doors opening up, you see my moons in the distance. So we just built up our own kind of space adventure game. And we just did this in a matter of minutes. Imagine if we spend like 30 minutes to an hour. I know, Mike, some of the games you've been making, you guys are what's the amount of time you spend on like one of your average games, would you say?
Oh, usually we only work on the weekends, so maybe like 3 or 4 weekends for a small game, but we haven't really finished any of the big games yet. It's been about 9 months. So,
all right, good stuff. So imagine you spend like every weekend working on this. I mean, you could really have something polished and really solid at the end of that time. So I have something polished, and it's only been like 5 to 10 minutes. So this is it's a lot of fun playing with these props. Just to kind of show you guys how we can mix this up a little bit, I'm actually going to go back in and just play with the brains a little bit. One of the things I've been doing here is just kind of showing how we can just do some random things with our brains. So I'm actually going to go back to my prop gallery. I'm going to look for one of our props called our boulder. Check this out. All right, so with our round boulder, I can just kind of place it in the world, like so. I'm going to go into its properties. I can edit its properties. I'm going to check it out. So I can make it, I can go to its appearance, and I actually go down to brains. And we're going to make it a template. So template's a true. Then I'm going to quickly go into its brains. I'm going to give it a quick behavior with just 2 tiles. I'm just going to say when bump terrain, do create paint terrain. So when bump terrain, paint terrain. So that's object is now a template. Setting it to a template means it's not actually in my game, but I can reference it, and I can reference its behaviors, and I'm actually going to do that in my character's brain. So I'm going to switch my character's brain out. So go into the brain gallery, and I'm going to switch it back to third-person adventure. And now for the Y, it's set up right now to shoot. I'm actually going to swap this out, and I'm going to say instead I want you to throw, and I'm going to select that object that I placed in my game. So import object. Spark leveled up. All right, so now I actually reference the boulder that I just placed in the game. So we're gonna hop in the test, we're gonna see how this works. And so the enemy is still shooting at me, and when I hit Y, I'm now throwing this boulder out and it's painting some awesome flowers. So I'm beautifying this world. I think I could probably also do a little damage if I hit these guys with these boulders. But I'm just trying to make the world pretty. I'm trying to make the world a better place, Mike. Are you cool with that?
no.
Of course you are. All right, so this is just kind of an example of how you can go into Project Spark. You can change some of the behaviors, change some of the brains to really make the adventure whatever you want it to be. As the other thing I kind of like doing, just because it's kind of a crowd favorite, or since we've been here at Gamescom, just kind of scaling up one of these guys and flying around, just because it's cool to see the world from a larger view. So our Codian is now going to get massive. So I scale them up almost 1,000%, and for our hero, I'm actually going to go back into his brain. I'm just going to swap it out for one of my default brains. Again, I can make these brains from scratch, or the players can make these brains from scratch. But you have these default brains. If you're a little intimidated about making your own brain from scratch, or if you're new to the language, use our default brains, or you can reverse engineer them to figure out how exactly we're making them, or how to use them. So select our third-person hover flight brain. Now when I go into test, I should have a different gameplay here. All right, so now I can fly around. Got this giant Codian up here. I can just go around. I can see my scenery, see what I've been doing, see the beautiful sky that we have there. I can see my moon base that I created without a back wall and nothing inside. And I can just start attacking this guy. So let's see if we can take him out. All right, that was kind of easy. I only gave myself 3 enemies, so to make it kind of easy. Look at these guys out here. See if I can take them out too. then I could go into this brain, I could change these fireballs to be something more spacey. Some people are probably thinking, hey, do you have fire in space? And I don't know the answer to that. I think it's no, but I don't know for sure. So, but you can swap them out. All right.
You're gonna die in your own level.
What's that?
You're gonna die in your own level.
I'm not gonna die. Maybe I will die. I don't know. We're gonna see. All right, there we go. I didn't die. I survived. So this is kind of a glimpse into sci-fi. This is new theme galaxies. So Project Spark, if you haven't heard, Project Spark will be available. Our launch date is in the US, is October 7th. If you're in Europe, then our release date is October 10th. So we're excited to get galaxies out in front of people, to see what people are going to create with it. Right now, like I said, we have some awesome content in our live beta that's open right now. But we're really excited to get this in front of people because of just the different experiences that are going to come out of it. So this is just one of the things that we're showing off. The other things we're showing here at Gamescom is we're showing some of Champions Quest, we're showing the sci-fi. But one of the things I just wanted to show, since I have Mike here with me, is one of the games that he worked on with Bob Schmacky and Roger Roach. So you guys worked on the game together. Rich, can we check it out?
No. Yeah, go ahead.
All right, we're gonna check it out. So I'm gonna hop out of here. Thanks for checking out my little sci-fi adventure. But we're gonna play through Mike's level. We're gonna just check it out. So should I play through it first, or should I hand it over to you for you to play through and you talk about how you want to do it?
I'll play it. You can ask me questions.
All right,
while I'm
cool.
doing
Let's
it,
do that.
so you can get me killed.
So we all can kind of prep it a little bit. So we have it down here. This is the right one, right?
Yeah.
All right. Excellent. All yours, sir.
All right, so I'm just gonna jump into play real quick.
So what inspired you to make this game?
So back before PAX East, we were going to go do some demos of that show, and we wanted to have a really quick, easy game to make. So we just did a really quick version of Gradius. We added some more stuff afterwards, and then we extended it a bit, added a boss. But we really just wanted to show something that could be done really quickly, but actually hadn't been done already in Project Spark. We hadn't seen any good side-scroller shooters, so we were inspired by Gradius. So I have my ship here, I can fly up and down. He does this little wing thing. You can buy power-ups as you get in his little crystals. Dodge fireballs so you don't die. You can purchase power-ups.
So this is a really fun game, by the way. I don't know if you guys are, if you're in the beta, I encourage you to go check it out. It's really cool. How do they find it in the beta?
So if they wanted to search for it in beta, they could just search for Gradius Fox, and it would have my Paradox Moves gamer tag.
Awesome.
In order to find it, you just go into the play category, and then use the search feature.
You said you work with somebody to make this, correct?
Right, so he did most of the coding, and I edited it a bit, and I made the custom characters, well, most of them anyway.
Yeah.
We actually set it up so that it was in modular fashion, so you can go ahead and take the brains that were in this level and reuse them for other enemies, so that you can really easily make different enemies, and then you reuse the brains if you wanted to copy some of the similar mechanics.
Yeah. So you said he did the brains and you did some of the game design elements to it.
Right.
How are you guys communicating? Like,
mostly over Skype. Mostly the chat version, but occasionally if we had something really in depth that we had to discuss a lot of, then we would just do the audio version.
Yeah. So with at launch we have multiplayer coming out. So when that feature's out, I imagine making games together with somebody long distance is going to get a lot easier for you. So do you think you guys are going to use multiplayer to create your own games together?
Right. So what we can do is share the same world and be able to create simultaneously. And this way we don't have to share like test versions of the game with each other and then delete them as soon as we upload them and the other person takes them down. So we don't have to have stupid names for our games so that people won't download them, like work in progress, don't download this game please.
Yeah, yeah. So having multiplayer in here should speed up your development time for the games that you're creating.
Right, because we don't have to worry about if I'm going to do something that's going to interact with his stuff that would have to be redone if we uploaded it and he was already working on something that he has to redo then or save. But we have a bunch of cool mechanics in here because, well, I'm a little bit biased, but with the blaster heat level, if I hold down right trigger, it goes up and it will eventually turn yellow and even red, and my blaster speed slows down. So after release, it's basically a reason not to hold down shoot the entire game. And it's just like we watch episodes of extra credits and stuff like that in order to learn how to do good game design as opposed to just regular game design. Everybody's learning to be professional devs like on a crash course type level.
So you have some pretty cool enemies in here, man. And some pretty cool behaviors, pretty cool enemies. So what's the stuff across the bottom? Can you tell us what's going on down there?
So basically, I sculpted the terrain and I painted it with ice. But
I mean
the missiles?
Yeah. So you have missiles, then you have like a speed up, and then
the power-ups. Gotcha.
Yeah.
So with options, if I buy them, then I get an extra little orb that follows me around and shoots for me, but it itself cannot be killed. Then there's speed up, so if you purchase that, then your ship goes faster. With the shields, if you get hit, then you don't die, but crashing will still kill you. And all enemies have a chance of dropping the crystal that will let you buy a power-up, but yellow ones are guaranteed to let you get a power-up. With missiles, they were actually coded so that when they detect the terrain, they then curve over and go horizontally. So you can code whatever you want to do inside of Project Spark. You don't have to always use the default brains. You can do really clever stuff like that you would have seen in a really classic side-scroller like Gradius 3. And we even took props to make our own custom objects instead of just sticking with zombies or whatever was pre-recorded for us. So we glued like things like rocks together or crystal shards, or the wings of the ship are actually made out of swords. You just glue them together, and then you can have the brain associated with all of those parts.
This game is a lot of fun. I know several people here on the Gamescom floor. We've been actually playing through this game, trying to make it through. It has an awesome boss fight at the end, so it's really fun, man.
If there wasn't a boss at the end, I would probably have stopped playing so I could go into edit mode already, but I kind of want to show off the boss.
Okay.
But we're pretty close because the sky just changed. And
you have cues. Look at that.
Yeah.
You're not using cheat codes, are you?
I was using a little bit of cheats just because I didn't want to die 3 times. If you die 3 times, then you're out of lives and you have to start over. So we have this little cinematic of the guy rolling in, and then you'll see some classic mechanics. And you have to shoot those orbs to destroy them. And when you do, he goes in a spin mode, and then it goes like a little more crazy.
This is really cool, man.
So this is like custom scripting, mostly just like vector math and stuff like that. But there's people out there who specialize in math for Project Spark. All they want to do is, so that's a little bit of glitching, but it's okay. It's an internal build, it's not the live build. So the people who, all they want to do is make cool effects using the math inside the game. Alright, so now we're going into phase 2. Where you see all those little orbs that fall around, and he's going to mimic my movements. So he's going to try to kamikaze me, and he did. But I killed him anyway.
Oh, you did? You did kill him?
Yeah, I got like the last shot in just as he was destroying me.
All right, so we'll have a few minutes left. Can we take some time to see how we can turn this in to a sci-fi adventure using our new sci-fi theme pad?
Well, it is sci-fi, but we can use the new stuff.
You can use galaxies.
Yeah, sure, we can use galaxies.
What I meant.
So, yeah, I did.
Show me again.
A little. So you can go ahead and just repaint the terrain. Well, I should probably use the biome brush. It'll be a little quicker. So go over to an empty biome with the up button. Go into the gallery for picking the moon one. Exit back out. And then I can just quickly sculpt or paint the background. Probably shouldn't do the foreground. So I'm going to really quickly do the undo with the left trigger.
Excellent.
Yeah. So mistakes are okay. You can undo most of them.
You can always undo them. Or just turn them into gameplay. That's what I do.
If I were to zoom out, no, I guess that's as quick as it goes. But yeah.
So in the background you're painting in the actual props. In the foreground, can you put in some paint?
Sure. Right, paint, right. Yeah. So we can do this. So that's 100% power for the brush. You don't even have to do 100%. You can roll it down, and you can then like meld the materials together.
So I think we should pop in, change our world settings, see if we can put in one of our new skies.
I guess we could. All right, so
like maybe
so either the Nebula or the Space Star.
Space Stars, but change the filter.
Want it to be saturated?
Yeah, that looks good. Let's see what that looks like. All right, so just like that, we were able to remix your level with our new Galaxies content. Let's see what we have. Dude, that looks pretty good.
Yeah. What you could have done to make your character more visible is attach that light bulb to him, and then you would have been able to see that I was about to crash into that.
Well, also when you get a shield,
yep, there you go.
Really nice. So just like that, we're able to use the new Galaxies content to remix Mike's level. Mike's one of our awesome community members. He's out here with us at Gamescom. We have a lot more demos to do, so I think that's going to be it for us. But thanks so much for watching. Thanks, Mike, for being here. And we're just excited about what we have coming up with Project Spark. Again, October 7th in the US is our launch date, October 10th in Europe. So we just encourage you to get in there, start creating awesome games. We're excited to have you in. Thanks for playing, dude. Thanks for remixing with it.
Yep. Have a good one, guys.